Hi guys, Claudia Boleyn here. Today's actually Valentine's Day, so it's February the 14th today, here in the UK. Still single. Still single right now. This is not the plan I had for 2023, but I hope you're all doing well and that you've got lots of love and kindness in your lives. So this is going to be one of those roundup videos where I go through some of the magazine covers that I've seen recently. So actually what I'm going to start with is a picture I took of kind of like a spread of magazines. This is in like my local food shop. So I'll put it on the screen now so you can kind of get an idea of just how powerful this stuff is. So this is like a whole shelf of magazines and I can see Kate Middleton everywhere. You see Meghan looking a little sly in one of them. And also Women's Weekly magazine, Royals, celebrating our royal family. So this is the sort of propaganda that I'm talking about and that other people are talking about, because you cannot ignore it. So even if you're somebody who does not care whatsoever about any of these issues, you don't really get a choice, because there it is as you walk into the shop. So something as small as even the choice of photographs and their choice of like headlines that might be inflammatory and might have certain implications are really worrying, because I know Meghan said in the Netflix documentary, you know, she said that to these tabloids and these magazines, they're just trying to make money. But she's saying, look, they're actually making people hate me and making people want to kill me, because you are really slowly, over a long period of time, making it so that someone going about their daily life, so this is someone who won't be fact checking, you know, because not everyone has the time to be, you know, sitting around fact checking this stuff. They're just going to be kind of absorbing it, even if they don't really care. Oh look, Meghan's causing trouble again, and there's Kate. Kate's our heroine figure at the moment, apparently. So let's look at some of these individually. So let's jump in with Bella Monthly. So Kate and Meghan, baby dilemmas, inside plans to extend their brood. And this is of course a royal special. Next to them, Charles and Camilla, under pressure. And then below that, even smaller, tortured Harry, will his family ever forgive him? What I will say for this one is that they haven't done that thing where they've used like a really flattering picture of Kate and then put like Meghan in the background like she's scheming or something. I'd say these are both quite flattering photographs. I do obviously take issue with tortured Harry, will his family ever forgive him? So even a magazine which seems to be trying to not put like a major bias on this story is presenting him as someone who's done wrong, he's committed a sin, and will the rest of the royals find it in their hearts to forgive him because he's been very bad and naughty? Okay, so Kate and Meghan's baby dilemmas. Why the royal mums want to expand their broods but have some hurdles to overcome. And then there's a quote from Kate. Now remember what I said in a previous video about Kate being presented as this I'm a mother and a wife and I love kids, and her big project, you know, her big interest is in children from age 0 to 5. It's very much a PR move. They're not really presenting Kate as the kind of ambitious sort of person as they do with Meghan, which I just want to say, what's wrong with being ambitious? But one of the only things they will allow Kate to be ambitious in this whole PR thing and her role is about helping children. So under those circumstances, she's allowed to be ambitious. Okay, so it starts. It's been a tumultuous 2 years for Kate Middleton and Prince William. Amid having to deal with the repercussions of Mexit, the devastating allegations in Prince Harry's controversial book Spare, and the Sussexes' interviews, along with the Queen's death, the couple are considering adding to their family and would apparently like to give George, Charlotte and Louis another sibling. Now think about the positioning of that. So basically they're positioning Kate and William as the victims, right? As if they're people that things keep being done to and they're just trying to withstand it amid having to deal with the repercussions of Mexit. Do you know who it was probably worse for? Meghan. I would say Meghan had the worst time there. The devastating allegations in Prince Harry's controversial book Spare. Look at that word choice. So devastating makes you think of someone trying to create chaos and like destroy something, followed by allegations, because of course he's probably lying about them anyway, right? Prince Harry's controversial book Spare and the Sussex interviews. So before we even reach the Queen's death, which I'm sure was really, you know, horrific for everyone who knew her, Kate included, because she would have been a part of her life. Before we even get to the Queen dying, I believe we have 3 or 4 jabs here at Meghan and Harry, suggesting that they're causing all this trouble for poor Kate. All these things, and then the Queen dying. Kate is the victim of this situation. And also think about how they're depicting the choice Kate might make to have another child, which also, like, I'm pretty sure Bella magazine does not know whether or not Kate is having more children, but really think about that framing in terms of PR. So Kate's gone through all this horrible distress, she's withstood all this grief, but she's such a good person that all she wants to do is have another child to bring love and companionship for her other children. She wants to provide them with another sibling. Now compare this to how they've depicted Meghan potentially wanting a third child. The quote they've chosen for Meghan is, "A third child will bring us closer." Like, how sinister does that sound? That sounds like some sort of supervillain. It's like, it will make us more powerful and bring us closer together. Like, there's something Machiavellian even in that. And think about how, essentially, it's the same story, right? And probably both of these stories are false anyway. But the idea is that Kate might want another child, and Meghan might want another child. Kate's doing it out of love for her 3 children she already has, because she wants to bring more love into the world. Meghan wants a third child to bring us closer. And there we have those familiar implications that she is somehow in control of Harry or has trapped Harry. I mean, that reads as though she's having the child to kind of stop him from leaving, right? To cement their bond. Also, the idea of bringing us closer obviously suggests that at the moment they're apart. Now, we've got nothing to suggest that they're apart. The last we've seen of them in the Netflix documentary, they seem like quite a solid couple. But this kind of gives the impression that they're on the rocks, and Meghan is like desperately grasping and thinking, oh, quick, have another child. I need to trap him, he's going to get away. So in Kate's case, a couple of other quotes they use for her: "I just love babies, and it makes me very broody." So all this work she's doing to help children is making her want to be a mother all over again. It's so wholesome. It is interesting though, because in this particular magazine, it talks about how Kate potentially being broody and wanting another baby, the quotation is that it's making William a little nervous. He gets very nervous when Catherine starts getting broody. Last May, as Kate read a book to a 10-month-old baby, Wills remarked, "Can you get my wife out of here before she gets broody?" The use of the nickname Wills here, because, you know, Kate's meant to be like our pal, she's one of us, and that's Wills. That's not William, that's Wills, our friend. And then Kate apparently said, "William always worries about me meeting under 1-year-olds. I come home saying, let's have another one." We've then got an onlooker saying that he knows his wife gets incredibly broody and she'll try to convince him to have another baby. It also goes on to say that William is perfectly happy with having 3 children and doesn't want another one. So what these sources, and I question any of these sources in these magazines, but if we look at the story they're telling here, why is it that in the part where they're talking about Meghan, they're talking about her wanting another child to bring them closer, right? That she's almost having to trap Harry is the implication. When based on their actual articles, it makes it sound like, and I'm not saying this is actually what's going on, but the way it makes it sound is that Kate really wants more children and William isn't interested. Like, he's nervous about it. He even dreads that. But Kate's not being presented as manipulative or trying to trap him or overruling what he wants, which I'm not saying she is, but this is how they present Meghan when there's nothing to back that up. Listen to this. Meghan Markle is also looking to hear the fresh patter of tiny feet. It's emerged that the Duchess of Sussex and her husband Prince Harry are considering having a third child to help bring them some stability amid the turmoil of their turbulent relationship with their families, following Harry's memoir and the accompanying interviews. But the timing has to be right. Now, the source they've got is actually quite normal and complimentary. I don't know. They're probably lying anyway. But they don't seem to have a negative bias, at least, talking about how they both want to expand the family and would love for Archie and Lily to have a sibling. So explain to me why we had that weird quote to start with, and the first paragraph tries to present the idea of having a third child as if it's an emergency, right? And this child will be the glue that fixes the emergency. The feeling you get reading that is that, oh, they shouldn't do that. It's almost like using the children to fix their relationship. So they do have a positive quote from Meghan. I believe it's from Meghan, it might be from Harry. It says, "Being a parent is joyful." And there's a deceptively nice section where the so-called source is talking about, you know, Harry's a nice dad and they want another kid. And they talk about Meghan's mental health battles. And then they say under that, it seems that another baby could help them recover from their experiences. Implication being that they are immature and irresponsible and would actually have a child just to fix everything that's going on around them. The whole vibe that this article is trying to create around those quotes is that this is a troublesome and unstable couple and that they need another child to make them a family, and that they would use that child for healing. We then have the pages on Harry, which I won't get into heavily. Troubled Harry. Will his family forgive him? And so it's going with the whole, oh, by the way, he's completely mad. He's mad. He's just troubled. Also, it's going with, will his family forgive him? They're not going with, will Harry be able to forgive his family for what sounds like their complicity in a really awful abusive system, and in some cases sounds like they're actual working against him and his wife and their kids. And a big quote here is that a line has been crossed. And this is so common when people come out and talk about abuse and talk about being a victim. The line is crossed when a victim speaks about what happened to them. People don't want to say that a line's been crossed when that person was abused, right? That's fine. The victim's just supposed to live with that. No one's saying, hey, maybe that system is messed up, and maybe this person has been really traumatized by it, and maybe this person has struggled and is actually owed some sort of apology. No, the line is crossed when somebody airs their dirty laundry. Because for some reason in Britain, it strikes people as a worse crime to talk about being a victim and your own life than for somebody to actually abuse you and harm you. Oh, since we're on the subject of Harry, we've got a Daily Express cover here, which I saw the other day. Tell us, Harry, are you coming to the coronation? Now, this is supposed to be an exclusive. An exclusive by Emily Ferguson. Harry and Meghan will soon be invited to the coronation, but a quick decision is wanted on whether or not they will attend. Now, why is just asking the question and throwing it out there? Will Harry go to the coronation? How's that an exclusive? That's just asking a question. It's an exclusive I have. Also, tell us, Harry, are you coming to the coronation? As if he's wronged us all. What will this naughty boy do? You better stop messing us around, son. Inside the magazine, there was just a paragraph that I just had to talk about here because it makes me so angry. So a commentator here called Miss Hagan said it was vital for Harry and Meghan to bury the hatchet and get on with their lives, saying they can't keep going over and over and over the past forever. It's just going to be painful. And this is such a British attitude to someone coming forward about abuse or injustice or being a whistleblower. Because rather than people being angry about the injustice, people turn on the victim, like, oh, you want pity, oh, you keep talking about it. It doesn't matter that, Harry's whole life was hijacked by this horrendous system. Stop going on and on about it, you're so self-absorbed. Sorry, that's his life. He's entitled to talk about it. And of course, Harry and Meghan need to bury the hatchet and get on with their lives, as if they're not getting on with their lives. The implication here is that they're just sitting there, they're just plotting the fall of the Windsors. They really are presenting them as completely obsessed. And this is what they do to victims, right? Especially here in Britain. If you talk about being abused or being the victim of a system, or you talk about inequality, what they're going to do is they'll first of all be like, don't air it, don't talk about it, that's a big sin. And then if you talk about it more than once, it's, oh my gosh, you're obsessed. Why are you talking about it so much? Be quiet. We always tell the victim, oh, you just have to get on with your life. There's so much victim blaming. And it is so rich, the quote that they can't keep going over and over and over the past forever. What do you think the tabloids, what do you think the papers and the magazines keep doing? How are they making their money? They just keep going over and over and over it to make their money. It's such a twisting of what happened, because part of the reason that Harry and Meghan are doing this, or they've said that they're doing this, is because they want to get on with their lives. It really does make me worried, because people who aren't really aware of these things, haven't necessarily read the book or researched the systems or anything, are going to just be reading these things and thinking that, they're out there, they're obsessing, they're trying to bring the whole family down. Essentially, they're just complaining, and the British don't like complaining, or they say they don't like complaining. This is something Harry says about, obviously, the royal family. Their motto is, don't complain, don't explain. But they do actually complain a lot. They just do it, according to him, via, palace sources, so it doesn't come directly from them. But it also connects to abuse dynamics and social justice. Because in Britain, we do the whole, keep calm and carry on, and we don't complain about anything. But that's gaslighting, because we do. We've got this growing anti-woke sentiment in this country, because some people can't even get past the fact that we're a multicultural society that's trying to be more progressive. but they still maintain that they're the sort of people that, you know, we keep calm and carry on, we don't complain, and then they have meltdowns over trans people existing. Okay, let's look at Closer magazine. So on there we have Separate Lives, Meghan, A-list pals warn her to go it alone, and a picture of her kind of looking to the side as if she's thinking about something sneaky. And the article inside says Meghan walks away. Following the backlash from Prince Harry's memoir, an insider reveals Meghan Markle's secret plans to go solo in a major rebrand. I'd be interested to know who this so-called insider is, but even that, Meghan's secret plans to go solo in a rebrand. So the idea that she's sneaky and duplicitous and ambitious and grasping and secretly making all these plans, the idea of a rebrand, you know, they talk about her as if all she cares about is branding herself. She's not a human being. They make her sound ruthless and like, oh, she's just gonna discard Harry now. It's just another way to make her the villain. But also, these publications tell on themselves because they can't seem to remain consistent. Because if they really think that Meghan is this horrific person that's in control of Harry, then where's the empathy for Harry? Like, they tell on themselves all the time. All they do is mock him, right? And call him a puppet. If they actually believed that she was this dangerous, grasping person that was, you know, causing him harm, they wouldn't be mocking him, would they? Disappeared, says the title of one paragraph. You know, fans noted a huge shift as some were left asking, where is Meghan? Since the lead-up and publication of Harry's explosive memoir, Spare. It says that she has disappeared from the public gaze completely and has remained uncharacteristically silent. Now think about how they're presenting silence. That's all we know. All we know is that Meghan wasn't there. Those are the facts. And yet they're twisting it into, oh, it's a scheme. It's a plan. She's leaving him. Her famous friends are giving advice on what her next steps should be. And again, look at how that's being framed. Her famous friends, so as if she's this powerful user, you know, having these conferences about what the next step should be, what's she going to do next on her way up the ladder. And the little picture of William and Kate. Prince William and Kate Middleton have come under fire in Harry's memoir. Again, with the idea that Harry fired the first shot and that look what he's doing to this poor couple. And listen to this. And while the insider says that Meghan is still gunning for an apology from the royal family over the way she was treated, she knows that continuing to publicly profit from her contempt for them could put her career in jeopardy. So it frames this whole situation not as a human woman who's struggled with racism and sexism and the public turning against her and the media turning against her. Oh no, she's somebody that was publicly profiting. So it was all a business mood, you know, it's all about her career. It might put her career in jeopardy, so she might stop. And I think the reason they try and do it like this, they try and make out that it's all fake and it's all a brand and it's all a game to Meghan, is I think because if people actually thought about her as a human being, they would feel completely ashamed of the way they talk about her. So instead they have to pretend it's all a game. You know, she's in on this too. She's sneaky. Look, she's trying to climb the ladder. Meghan is finally seeing that it could be a risky move, as even the left-wing media in the US have been growing tired of all the bombshells from Harry's book and their documentary. She's looking at a different approach where she hopes to be seen as taking the high ground by embarking on new charity projects and initiatives, and even doing some of them by herself without Harry always having to be by her side. And look at how they're already smearing in advance. Because they're thinking, if people look into this, they might see that Meghan actually is doing quite a lot of charity work, and doing more than actually Kate recently. You know, Kate kind of went to the food bank with no food. They might start to think, Meghan seems to have quite a real interest in charity work and social justice and humanitarian causes. Now that ruins their smear. So they've got to go there in advance. Like, you know, you might see her, you know, doing some charity work and helping some people out. But she's only doing it for her brand. She's still evil, don't be fooled. There's a, you know, in red, toxicity. She's thinking that now is the time to step away from all the toxicity surrounding Harry and focus on building up a new image for herself, warning her to go it alone. So they're acting like she never loved him, like it was all for image, it was all for her brand. And now she's making a new image. She's going to discard him, like that image is gone. Listen to this. Damage control. The source says it's creating an awkward feeling at home. Harry is wondering what part he will be playing in Meghan's career strategy. Meghan's career strategy? This is her life. This is their lives. All of this isn't sitting well with Harry, as he feels lost without Meghan's direction. He doesn't want them to end up living separate lives. She's been the driving force behind so much of what they do. Now he's feeling nervous at the prospect of being thrust onto the world stage without her by his side. By Lauren Hill Roger. Again, they've gone back into, they can't quite make their minds up, but now it's poor Harry. Harry is a victim. He's a victim of Meghan, and he can't even function without her. Like, he's her total puppet. Oh, and let's look at Heat News before we move on to the last one. So, my Harry and Meghan are divided over baby number 3. They could be about to face yet more backlash. I don't know why them having another child is anyone's business, but okay. Deciding whether to have another baby is a huge decision for any family, that's true. But throw in the fact that Prince Harry and Meghan swore they wouldn't do it in front of the whole world, and you can see why this is causing upset. It's ridiculous. Like, oh, they swore to us. It's none of our business. They swore to us they wouldn't have another child. And look at them. How dare they? They're considering having another child. Not that they are considering that. This is just a story we've made up. But in our minds, we're pretending that that's what they're doing and that's what they've decided. And they are, in fact, lying to us personally. They've hurt us personally. We are their victims. How dare they change their mind and decide that maybe they might want another child? It talks about potentially them being accused of hypocrisy by the public. Okay, they've also found a previous quote from Harry from some years ago. So in 2019, Harry apparently said that he wouldn't really want any more than 2 children. He's talking about climate change and the environment, and he says he's worried about the planet and the state of the planet and what it will be like for kids growing up in that. So in one interview, he said he probably wouldn't have more than 2 children. Bear in mind that we do not even know they want another child, but they're already going back through his words to try and make out that he's a liar, even though deciding whether to have children or not is completely their choice. It says, Harry really wishes he'd never made that promise, and it's not the first time that Harry and Meghan have faced accusations of hypocrisy over their environmentalist stance. Now, I don't think Harry and Meghan having one more child is going to destroy the planet. But if we're actually talking about this subject, which they want to get into in this article, didn't William say that thing about how, oh, there's too many children being born in Africa? The man who already had 3 kids. There's too much overpopulation in Africa. And we've also got in red here a quote. There's a nice family picture of Meghan and Harry and their kids, and then it says, she knows she can talk him round. So again, Meghan's in control of this. So I'm going to end this with some of the coverage of Kate Middleton. I've already done this in like my most recent video, where Kate's currently being presented as the nation's mother figure. All she cares about is children and the Shaping Us campaign. So there's a big campaign at the moment where she's on all the magazines. So we've got, for OK Magazine, we've got Kate's A-Team. The Princess of Wales recruits inspiring stars to support her mission for change. I have a video coming because I'm trying to research Shaping Us at the moment. And I've done a lot of research already, and I can't seem to really figure out what exactly the campaign is for. I know it's trying to raise awareness, and a lot of what they says makes sense. I won't do this here. But it really feels like a load of nothing. Like, if you look at, you know, all what the celebrities are saying about it and all these magazine covers, you actually try and look for some information. There's hardly anything there. We've got all that stuff about her, you know, launching her campaign, how she has the support of celebrities. Now, when Meghan has celebrity friends, it's almost done to make her seem grasping and ambitious, you know, that American actress. But when Kate is using celebrities for this campaign, and I've got to be honest, the celebrities here are the sort of people who it seems like would sell out. They would sell out to try and get some publicity here. And the way they talk about her in this magazine, you know, they do interview them. It's kind of embarrassing how kind of deferential these people are. But it says, you know, she's launching her biggest campaign yet. The Princess of Wales enlists famous faces in her mission to give children the very best start. A big picture of her smiling in her nice red suit. A picture of her and her 3 kids. The campaign is fundamentally about shining a spotlight on the critical importance of early childhood. And this campaign, you know, I'll get to this in my other video. How is asking celebrities and people to post a photo of them before they were 5 years old doing anything? All it does is kind of give a bit of participation element, right? So it's quite nice. It's nice to see, you know, pictures of people when they were kids, like people you know, celebrities and things. But what's it actually doing, like in terms of the campaign? You know, and again, the mission to give children the very best start. Early childhood shapes us as adults. It is when we learn to understand ourselves, others, and the world in which we live. I spoke about this in the other video, but I don't think, probably of all the people in this country, Kate Middleton is one of the people who shouldn't be fronting this. Because we don't even know the harms that are coming to those children because they're living in that media spotlight, because they're in that system of hereditary birthright. All we know is that a former child of that system has spoken about how abusive it was and been attacked and further victimised. Another victim of that system, William, if the allegations are to be believed, also seems to have sought safety in the system. And in the process, it's made him, well, he doesn't seem particularly happy. It's a lot of stress, even for the heir. And Harry talks about how it's actually meant that their family relationship now is kind of non existent. You know, this family is living as a brand rather than a family. I don't know why they're now fronting this campaign. The healthiest family. This isn't a toxic and dysfunctional family. You know, we've got like Rochelle Humes, who is, she used to be in the Saturdays. I like Rochelle. She's okay. She sometimes hosts This Morning. But the quote, you know, everyone in society needs the best for every child. And I will do this in my other video, but what does that mean? What does that mean? Everyone in society needs the best for every child. Yes, but how? How is this going to work? And then we called it Children's Crusade. Actually, one of my favourite comics ever is called The Children's Crusade. It's a Young Avengers comic. It's really good. It's about Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch, and her kids. But there's a big spread. Children's Crusade, my hopes for all our kids. And this is what I'm basically getting at in the last video I made. They're trying to make Kate into this mother figure across all of Britain, right? She's a representative of all mothers, and she's there not just to be the perfect mother and care for her children, but her hopes and dreams for all of our children. Princess of Wales shares her dreams for a happier society, and it is all PR, because if you think about when Meghan does a campaign, you know, or anything ambitious, it's presented as a bad thing, right? So she's building a brand, or she's trying to strike out on her own, and it's a mean thing she's doing to Harry, like she's abandoned him. Yet when the same thing happens with Kate Middleton, they completely support it. Like, that's not bad ambition. And that's because they're playing into that mother role. You know, it's quite smart on a PR level. And I think I'll leave you with, this was just a page I found in the spread of Hello Magazine. It's a subscription page. Never miss an issue. Subscribe today. So it looks like three different covers. Royal Mums, Royals at Play, Family Fun, and Caring Kate. This is just some of the propaganda that people are getting here. Okay, so I think I've covered most of those. I've probably left some out, but this is really, really long. So thank you if you're still with me at this point. Really appreciate it. My PayPal link is in the description. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's something you'd like me to particularly talk about. It doesn't have to be related to this topic. It can be anything you want. My channel is a total mishmash of just everything. Everything, you know, there's no set topic on that channel. Like, if you want something, let me know and I'll make it. But I hope you're really well. Happy Valentine's Day. And I'll see you really soon when I've got more sneaky pictures and we will look at the PR campaign in action. All right. Love you. See you really soon. Bye.